Hey everybody, Brandon here. Welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. I thought it would be interesting to play a 960 chess tournament. Now, it's not classical chess. Classical chess is where you have the rooks in the corners, the knights beside those, bishops beside those, the queen on the same color of the whatever shade it's on. So the white queen would be on the light color square, the black queen would be on the dark colored square, and then the kings in the remaining square, and then pawns in front. However, 960 chess is a little bit different, where instead the placement of the pieces, there are 960 different permutations, where there has to be a rook on both sides of the king, there has to be a bishop on a dark and a light square, but I believe those are the only limitations. And of course, it's mirrored for both sides. So the pieces would be directly in front of the other pieces as well. Just like in normal chess, how the kings are facing each other and the queens are facing each other, the rooks are as well, if you look across the board. Now, in this tournament, it's going to be 5 rounds. So hopefully we do play all rounds. I do think we will. And then after that, yeah, we'll just have to see how we do. Okay, now the tournament is starting, and we are going to be paired up now. Okay, so I'm playing against Toxic New York. Let's see how we do. I haven't played in quite a long time, as I can see just from my provisional rating. I'll win 6 and I'll lose 103 points if I lose this game. So that's not too exciting. Let's look for undefended pawns, actually. So this pawn is actually defended. Okay, this pawn is defended. Okay, so everything's defended, which is good to know. And I think the first move I want to start with, actually, is this little fella right here, b6. I just want to open up this bishop, especially since they just opened up that side. So I'm just going to play h5 now. I want to open up. I just want to take. So, okay, they took instead. Now I'm looking at taking. And I'm looking at things like queen h7. Queen h7 keeps an eye on this pawn, and it also keeps an eye on this pawn. Interesting. So I'll play here. Queen h8. I'm expecting a move like f4 for some reason. If they play f4, I just move back. I'll just go like rook h7 or something. I just want to protect all my pieces. I want to get a good position. I want to start creating attacks. The first thing I'm looking at is to attack this pawn right here. This pawn is also undefended, so that's important to note. I think that is actually very important. I'm not worried of any b3s. I think I'm going to go c5 if I get the opportunity to. Yeah, I'm going to go c5 now. So it is a little awkward, so I don't know where I'm going to put my king, especially after c5. Because this can be a weakening move if I decide to castle long. But the whole point is I want to play this little fella right here. And I want to, again, create attacks. So now I'm attacking the f4 pawn. And they defend it in an interesting way. Now I'm looking at the move d5. d5 could actually be very problematic to deal with. So I'm a bit of a fan of this move, because if they were to play a move like e5 in response, then I have d4, and I win the rook. I win a rook there. So I think d5 is begging to be played. I can always castle this way as well. I can just... oh no, I can't castle. Sorry, I moved this piece, so I can't castle short anymore. But my king's like relatively safe for now. I'm just kind of burning bridges on the side of the board though, with a move like this. But they can't castle this side either, because they did move their rook to e3 here. So yeah, I was thinking of playing here. Bishop takes d5. So I'm expecting maybe bishop f3. That makes sense. Bishop f3. Okay, so they didn't. So I think I'll just take on h2 then. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to take this one. So now I won material. And since I won material, I could just cash out and just say, now I just want to be safe. But I think my position's just overwhelming at this point, where it does kind of make sense to want to play for more. How do I play for more here? I'm looking at some eventual G5s. I don't think it quite works yet, but I do want to keep it into consideration. Maybe knight d7 to f6. It's a pretty classical move. I could always prepare g5 with f6, but these whole, like, those ideas just they look interesting, but they don't look good, I should say. I think making a move like knight to d7 makes so much more sense, where I'm just trying to protect everything. And if b3, for example, I just play knight f6. Yeah, so they're just trying to break down my structure, I assume. So I think I should just go here. Is there any other move that I should think about? I don't think so. There's also, not yet, maybe rook h1 first, but I'm looking at knight h5, where this pawn's undefended. If they take, I just take back, so I'm not losing material or anything. It does kind of make my structure a little uglier, but that's not the worst thing in the world. What about rook h1, trying to trade? Just say, hey, I'm up material, I want to trade. And I don't think that's such a bad idea. Yeah, I'm actually going to play rook h1. And if they take, then I just take back like this. If they play king up, ooh, there might actually be some tactics with some either knight g4, or it just feels like there's something. I don't know. Let's just move back to c6 for now. Keep a lookout. If they take, okay, so should I take with the bishop? I think so. So if I take with the knight, then this bishop takes g7, and I get mated. So I think I should take like this. And actually followed up with queen h3. Queen h3 does attempt to get a queen trade here. I don't know if this is the right approach, but this is the approach I'm taking. Where I'm just trying to give a check. I'm trying to trade queens. I'm up a pawn, which is nice, and there are ideas of taking this pawn or this pawn. So if they take here, I might even just take here, where I attack the knight. Actually, that's not so bad. Knight d5 now. E6, I'd probably just go f6 actually. Yeah, let's go here. I got to be careful for any double attacks or anything like that. But I am attacking the b4 pawn. I'm also attacking the f4 pawn. So I'd rather take the f4 pawn here, I believe. Actually, I'm not too sure. Originally, I thought this would be better, just because it does weaken this pawn as well. It's also knight e3. And then maybe I take or something. Or what if I just take first? What if I just leave all of my ideas open? Where now I'm threatening to take on f4. And I'm also maybe even threatening a knight e3 bishop a5 scenario. Okay, now knight e3 is just a good move. If king e1, I can just take on g2. And if there, then I can just take the free piece. I think that would be best. It is a free piece after all, so usually that's a good thing. And then I'll just go back to e3. Here. I can give a check and then play e6, or I can just take and then play e6. That's a really interesting move. Okay, the reason why this is an interesting move actually is because if I were to take, my knight's trapped. And it's not so obvious how to defend it. Well, rook e2. Well, there's bishop a5 actually. So maybe I am okay. Yeah, let's play e6. I think this is the more safer? More safe? The safer? I don't know. I don't know the word. I don't know words. Okay, e6. And bishop a5 with the idea of knight c3. To save my boy. Bring my boys home. Or my boy. I don't know. Knight e3. So if knight c5, then I just play bishop e6. Yeah. I still want to be a little careful of anything here. I don't think there is anything, but it's just nice to look out. So if they move their knight, okay, they didn't. Good. So I was thinking of knight f5 here. Knight f5. If rook h8, I don't worry. If knight d7, I just go king e7. And I also don't really worry. Yeah, let's just go knight f5. I don't think I have anything to worry about. Rook h8, I just play king e7. So yeah, I'm okay. I am okay. Right now I'm still up a piece, and I don't think I'm losing any pieces at all. A knight on f5 is really great here because there's no pawns on the E file or the G file that can actually do anything about this this beautiful piece. I want to take with the pawn, I guess, actually. Keep things interesting. The reason why I want to take with the pawn, at least my thought process there with taking with the pawn, is that I don't want things to be just super easy where there's like this checks. Well, they still got their check, I guess. So rook d2, I just go king c7, and d6 is covered as well, so they can't even play bishop d6. Yeah, this should be a bit easier to win now. I'm looking at rook. Oh no, rook d3 would be very interesting, but very bad at the same time. So, like very like interestingly bad, I guess, is the way I should describe it. And I'm looking at knight e7, knight d5 or something. Just like get all the pieces in the game. That's why knight b6 might have been better. But I was just looking at this because it just covers some dark squares, and it's just nicely placed in my opinion. Yeah, so all I have to do here, this is pretty conventional win. Where I bring my king to either c4 or a4, it doesn't really matter, and I bring my knight to b5 and one of these pawns fall. So I'm going to bring my king to c4 here. I think that's the more traditional way to win, just because it's closer to the center and it feels a bit more comfortable there. If they play a4, I just play knight to c6. Yeah, so now knight b5, a4 I just take on c3. So these pawns do start falling. For a second I thought they played a5 and I just blundered, but I would have screened. So I just got to make sure I don't allow any stalemate tricks. But yeah, this pawn is just too fast. He was out of the square. Or they were out of the square. And is this mate? This should be mate, right? Yeah, okay, good. It was mate. And yeah, so we won our first game. So let's go. Let's go. And now we have four more games to go. We only have 2 games left we're waiting for. But yeah, That was pretty interesting. I'd say maybe, hmm. Okay, it actually turns out I was doing pretty well here. After G4, I was already better. So G4 was just not a good move from them right out of the opening. So I was right to play a move like B6 and H5. It was all justified, it seems. Yeah, and here I'm like, it's like -3. So I'm pretty confident with... Oh, Rook H7 wasn't good, I don't think. Rook H6. Okay, so I shouldn't have brought it all the way back. Rook H6. I was thinking of Rook H6 because it also does allow like Rook G6 stuff, but I just thought, you know, like, should I just put it on H7? It felt safer on H7 for some reason, but H6, now that I look at it more, it's more justified because it can swing over on the third rank. Whereas when it's on H7, it's limiting the queen and it's also limiting the rook. So yeah, Rook H7 was just not so great. There's a lot of easier wins, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. What is this game? Oh my, that was ridiculous. What? Well, it's time for game 2. And let's look for any undefended. Everything's defended, I believe. Yeah, everything's defended. I'm just gonna go for B3. B3 looks really natural. The reason why is because if they ever go like G6 or something, then I just go Knight C3. But I'm looking for Bishop B2. Yeah, so Knight C3 here. And I'm just going to go Bishop B2 at some point. And then my queen is, or my bishop is opposite their queen, which is really nice. So I'm going to try to make an advantage out of that. I expect them to do the same at some point. I'm not going to double fianchetto like they are. So if they go like B6, then that's what double fianchettoing is. Yeah, let's just go here. If B4, then I just go here. Knight A4. And this piece is surprisingly safe somehow. Oh, you want to know a very devious and evil move? G4. Now this isn't, not all attacks are made equally. This isn't made equally. I have the threat of Queen A8, but I also have the threat of G5. So I actually do win material here. So them being overly aggressive when they shouldn't have been is going to be working against them here. And this is exactly the case of what's happening. So either they're going to lose the knight or they're going to lose the rook. Or if they want to give me more material, then I'll play, like, if they play bishop b7 or something, that'd be great. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that though. So I'll just go here, I'll win the piece, and if they ever play that, I just go knight f3. I'm pretty safe here. I have c3 as well if I want it. I don't know if I'll play it or not, but yeah, if they go like knight a5, then I just go like knight f3. Yeah. Can I do more? Can I play here? Because if they take, then I can take here and then take here. If I take here and then they take on b2, then I take on f8 and then I take here, and then they take there, and then I go knight f3. I need to calculate that position actually. If I take here, because that's pretty serious. If it's just winning the game, then it's winning the game. So I'm already up a piece. So it takes on h1. So I take on f8. Or d8, sorry. And then I take on h8. So if they go bishop g2, then I just retreat. They take on f1. So I have the knight there. I have these 4 pieces. and the knight. And then they have the rook. Bishop. I don't think it's worth it. I think I'll just go knight f3. It's worth calculating. I'm not sure if it specifically works. I'm getting a little lazy, and like with my calculations in general, I'm noticing, and it's just something that it probably will work. It's just I couldn't be bothered to actually look further, unfortunately. So let's go queen c7. Just get off this diagonal. Yeah, it just makes sense too. Maybe knight c5 at the right point, where I can go knight e4, if they go back. They wouldn't go back though, so that's I don't know how I feel about that. So if they go like bishop e7, I go bishop e2. I could also just take, and I probably will take actually, because it's pretty harmful to them. Bishop e2. I'm just looking at castling now, and not only am I safe, but I'm up material, and I'm happy. I'm happy, healthy, and alive, as they say. So, okay, let's see what occurs. They castle? You can castle that way? What? Oh yeah, that's a thing. Castling is a thing. I could castle short. I feel like I shouldn't though. I feel like I should just castle long and then just play king b1 and like d4, d5 or something. Should I castle short? No, I have to castle long, I think. I think that's just the most logical. Is it rook? Okay, yeah. King over rook. And then castling occurs. So castling is the exact same thing where your king goes exactly where it normally would. I'm looking at f4, f5, and I'm just going to rip open their king side. There's also ideas of bishop takes h5 as well, where it just opens up the g file. I can give back the piece in ways like that. Ooh, actually I hit my microphone. Sorry about that. Yeah, I could just take on h5 at some point and maybe play rook g1. I'm not saying it's like a good move right now, but it's obviously something I want to keep in mind, especially since I'm up material in the first place. I'm up a full piece. So something like bishop h5 would make the material even, but not all positions are even. So yeah. And that's where f4 comes in play right now, I think. F4, and I'm looking at f5. Okay. And the other thing here is that if they were to play this move, which they did, then it does open them up to some other issues. Like rook g1, and I'm playing a move like bishop to d3, where I'm threatening f5. And if they go here, then I have... Oh, queen g2 is better. Queen g2 still works, doesn't it? Let's play bishop d3. Yeah, let's play bishop d3. So c4 I'm expecting, I'll just take here. c3 I just move back. If they take on d2, I just take on d2 as well. I shouldn't be too concerned. They might get the diagonal back, but no more than that. We're like, if they can play c3 successfully, because I don't know if I would want to take. Yeah, I was looking at this move quite seriously. What if I go here and then queen to d5? where this piece isn't so happy where it is. And then I'm looking at bishop takes f5. I could also just play queen h3, where if they take on f4, well, they take on f4. So I think that kind of solves my question. King b1, it's a good prophylactic move. Let's just play king b1. I'm up material. I think that should be the end of discussion. When you're up a piece in these positions, I think it's just too much. But I am looking at reroutes like this, because I think they would do a lot of good. Okay, so knight d4 is not possible because I can take on a8. And now I can play bishop takes f5 because pawn takes and then queen g7 check. King h8, rook takes f7, king back, I go here. And I can win this rook. So I win an exchange and a pawn out of it. Is there anything more I can win? I don't think I can, but I think this is good enough. Winning a pawn is, and an exchange in a position like this is pretty much a death sentence. Because not only does your pawn structure just get completely ruined after pawn takes on f5, but it's just not really something you can really hope to get anything out of, I don't think. Yeah, so if they make a knight move like knight d4, knight e5 or something, I just take on c8. So it is a double attack essentially. Yeah, and rook c7. I might even just follow up with queen e4. Because queen e4, if they ever take on f5, then I can take back on f5. I put them in check. If they play rook g6, I can take. And if they play, well, they can't play king h8 because the bishop on is diagonal. Actually, that's only if knight d4. If knight d4, then I can't play queen e4. But if rook c7, then yeah, I can. Okay, yeah, so just queen g7. And just making sure I didn't miss anything there. Did I miss this somehow? I didn't think I missed this. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm a dummy. Am I a dummy? Did I miss king h6, really? That's kind of interesting and sad if I did. I guess it's rook g2 to start. I was looking at rook g5 as well. But rook g5 looks a bit too risky. Yeah, maybe I was too aggressive there. Huh. I didn't think I did anything wrong too. That's the interesting part. Let's just play here. If they take on h4, I'll just play rook h1. And okay. Setback. It's a bit of a setback. But I should still be better, if not winning. Okay, so I need to take into consideration things like king h6 more. Yeah, so here I can just go here, I think. And if they were to play something like rook g8, then I can either take and then take, or I can just play rook h2. Either way. Okay, so at least I got my mojo back. Bishop to g7 is also a move. Bishop g7 just wins, actually. now. Yeah, so bishop g7 I'm just going to play because it's just mate. So king h7 I take, and then I play rook h8 with checkmate. Okay, so I do want to look at that after the mate occurs, because I need to take these things more seriously, where I think I was fine and I think it was justified, but maybe I was missing something else. If not, then I shouldn't have played the move if I realized that king h6 was an issue. For some reason I thought there was like something wrong, and it just didn't appear on my radar, even though it's such an obvious move. So I need to find out why. Oh, I did not mean to click that. Okay, let's find out. So king h6. So it was actually rook g2, bishop h4 is, yeah, it's completely winning here. It's slightly better for black. Wow. So I really messed that up. So I really shouldn't have sacrificed here. Oh wait, didn't I say here that I was gonna play originally my idea was queen h3 or queen d5. Yeah. And I should have stuck with my instinct here. That explains a lot more. And if queen e6, then just rook g7, I believe, or queen f3. Yeah, queen f3 back. Queen h6. There's a rook g7 check if I want to cash out. I don't know if I'd want to cash out here. Okay, yeah, I should have gone with the other motifs that I was looking at, with queen d5 or queen h3 to attack f5, because the light squares are so weak. Because the second I attack that, I'm also attacking the rook. So yeah, I just misplayed that there with queen g7. But after bishop h4, which is a seemingly obvious pawn capture, the problem is, yeah, rook h1, and then it's forced mate. Okay, so again, for next time, when I'm looking at sacrifices, be a bit more careful. I think it was like practically okay, but like bishop f5 itself was fine. It was the it was missing queen h3 and queen d5 that I need to be more serious about. Because after king h6, there's just nothing. And I just, yeah, if I played rook g5, I'm playing for equality. So I don't think that's even an option if I played rook g5 there, so. Okay. Anyways, it was an interesting game too. We're now 2 out of 5. My goal is like 3 out of 5. I just want to go +1 in this tournament. It is time for game number 3. And we're playing a pretty strong opponent who is also doing quite well. Is this... Oh, I thought this was the normal setup for a second. It was kind of confusing me. So this is an undefended pawn. So that's an undefended pawn. And also, g2 is weak. So I think I want to start with e4, actually. And the reason why I want to start with e4 is I'm going to go h3, bishop h2, and I'm going to castle. So I'm going to treat this like it's just a normal position, pretty much, where the rook's on c1, it's a little awkward, and I'll have to play knight c3 to defend the pawn, but knight c3 is not really too big of a deal. I'm pretty happy to play that. Okay, yeah, h3. So the problem is they played f6, and f6 is obviously a fine move. The thing is, there's a lot of positions where, like, when we look at normal games, the move f6 can kind of bite you. So that's why I'm trying to avoid playing that move at all costs. And I would rather play a move like h3 and bishop h2 to develop that piece. Let's move here now. Looking at knight a5, and I don't know how this pawn gets defended. Let's just play it to see what they do. I'm sure that this might not be the best move or anything. Like, there might even just be knight c4. Knight c4 I'll actually probably just happily take, and then bishop e2. That's what I'm expecting. But yeah, they have to ask themselves if I'm seriously threatening to play that move as well. So if I take, the piece is trapped for a minute. Does it stay trapped? I don't know if I'd want to answer that question. So I'm just going to play knight c4 and bishop e2. Just because I'd rather get harmonious development where all my pieces are pretty happy than have to worry, really. So, yeah, and I think this is the next move that I want to play. d5. Nope, okay. So let's play queen 2. I'm looking at this, but c5, right? Queen b3, c5. Maybe I just play d5 in response, though. Yeah, let's play queen b3. I just want to protect all my pieces like I am now. I think that's pretty important to me. Yeah, let's go a4. A4. Or d5. Or e5. E5 is interesting. E5 with the idea of like e6 maybe. But d5 just kind of keeps their pieces kind of stuck. And I think that's exactly what I needed out of this position. Yeah, let's play d5. If knight c5, then I'm looking at queen a3, where I just attack the pawn here. Looks okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly I wouldn't say aggressive's the right term. I can still castle long, I believe, which is kind of funny. Because I haven't actually decided where my king's going. So it's pretty funny. Let's play a4. Knight b5. c3 if they play knight b4, I think. Or just c3 now. If they play knight c7, then I just play knight a3 back. I want to keep them kind of stuck. I don't want to give them anything here. And this is exactly what I'm trying to do, is give them nothing. Okay. Knight a5. So where are they going to put that piece? If they play b6, then that's a win. Not winning, but that's a win. Okay. So I do want to take that. And I do want to take here. So if they take here, they didn't. Huh. What if I go here? And force them to decide what they're doing with their queen. Because I did just win a pawn, right? And I'm looking at things like rook b8 now. And c4. Yeah, let's play queen b5. It asks a pretty serious question. Because I might not castle anymore, especially if I trade queens. Okay. It's time for rook a1. Now, do I go b6 or c4? I think c4. If e6, they weaken d6. So, that's nice. Yeah, let's just go king e2, king to d3. Now what? Rook a2? Yep. Looks good to me. I'm up a pawn, so if they go rook a8, for example, that just helps me. And let's take over the only open file, shall we? b3 as well, if I need it. f3, I think. Or e5. Yeah, e5 keeps things interesting, actually, because if they take, then I can take with my bishop and I win the exchange. Otherwise, there's still some issues here for them, yeah? All of a sudden, I'm thinking I should reroute. Play a move like this. If they play f4, for example, I can play e6 and close things down further. I don't know if I'd want to close things down further. I think I'd rather play a move like b3 first, which keeps it kind of open-ended. Because they can't take, right? So, yeah, let's take. And then play rook e2. So if they try rook a8 or anything like that, I play rook e7, rook g7, and then the other rook to e7, and I'm in the position. So there's just no way they can actually do this without losing material. So I'm already threatening to win the g-pawn. Knight e5 isn't possible, so that's good. Yeah, now I'm threatening to win there. And g3 time, or yeah, I think g3 time. Is there anything better? Like b4, for example. b4 is actually really interesting, because then c5. Let's just go g3 though. Rook a2 I take here. And if rook a3, I just go king a3, I think. Oh, I can't go there, can I? I thought I could for a second. Okay, let's go here instead. Go here. And okay, this move's pretty tricky, because I want to go rook e6. Maybe I shouldn't though. Dang, I'm messing this up so bad. I think I might actually lose this if I'm not careful. So they did let me defend this pawn, which is nice. So I will defend it. And then I will play a move like bishop to f4. And I will play a move like bishop to d2. So they did just go like full defense there, and I think that's what's going to be their downfall. So I got super lucky that they decided to play defensively. Is there anything I should play here? So b6, I don't want to see. I could play b6 myself and then play b4. That's pretty interesting because they can never take on b6, can they? And I think that should be what I take away from that, because yeah, if they take, then I just go check, check, and check. There's too many checks, pretty much. I'm just looking at all the checks that I have, and there's too many of them. Rook f7. Now there's no rook f5, and now I'm looking at b4 still. Bishop e1, rook e1, bishop d2. I can always go back if I need to for a move or two. Being very annoying. Bishop b3. King f2. Well, now there's maybe even that. Okay, they didn't go for it. Oh, rook b6. Oh, they didn't play that either. Knight d5, and now, yeah, I'm just gonna resign. Ah! I was better for so long there. I had completely dominant position, and I just let it go. And that's one of the biggest reasons why you just need to keep, like, track of what you're doing. So yeah, I was just completely winning here. Rook b2, I was worse. So something around here, I just made me worse. Rook e4. So yeah, after rook e2, what should I have done? Bishop c3. Oh, it does work because rook e3. Okay, that's why. And then I'm just better. And the reason why I'm better is even though they get the pawn here, there's rook g6. Attacking d6 and h6. And this structure is difficult to attack. Okay. Yeah. Should have realized that. King e2. You don't want to go back because then there's like rook e8 stuff where they get in. And rook e8, king f2. What? King f2? Rook f8, king e2 it says. Rook e8, now king f3. Make up your mind, computer. What about king d2? I would play something like king d2. And if knight d7, just take here. Oh, maybe that... Well, this is a draw? Okay. It was a complex position. Let's just put it at that. I'm looking at the computer, and all the computer is saying is like, oh, it's better, it's better, it's better, it's better, it's better. Oh yeah, you're just so much better. Draw. What? So, yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but let's hope we have better luck in game number 4. Round number 4, we're playing against Dan, and hopefully we have better luck than the last game, where it seemed like we had a serious edge for a while there, and then we kind of threw it away, to say the least. Yeah, I'll just play b6. I'll just go across. And let's play knight c6 or something, maybe. Let's try to keep things a little complicated. Is that a free pawn? Am I missing something? I don't think I'm missing anything. I think that's a free pawn, except I can't castle that side of the board. I think that's worth a pawn, though. And knight c2. Knight c2 is now a threat, which is nice. So if they play queen g2, I'll probably just play rook b8. Oh, for a second I thought I just like missed something somehow. Let's play e6. It's pretty safe. I just don't want to prevent any knight d5s where there's like knight c7. So this is my way of doing that. If they play b4, I just play like rook b8, and I'm pretty much fine. b4 is an interesting try. Let's just play rook b8 anyways. I feel like I'm gonna be castling on this side of the board. Like, yeah, I'll just play this move next. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I should just play bishop e7. Kind of like a fake castling situation where I want to play bishop f6, but I don't want to develop normally, like as one would do in these situations. I would love to see where this pawn's going if I play a5. Like if they play c3, where I can maybe even take and look for some eventual rook a8s, or if I should just leave it altogether. Let's play knight d6. And maybe h5, h4. H5, h4 in these types of positions, like, or just like these types of games, I guess, it just seems to be a lot more useful. Especially now, because, well, now I'm attacking their king. But it just seems justified. That's all. Yeah, h4 now. And I'm just looking to take. And just open things up. Just enough to cause problems. Yeah. Maybe f6 now? I'm not a big fan of f6 like ever, pretty much, but in this position it makes more sense. Because if they go bishop g4, then I'm looking at g5. Now there's no g5, so I should be careful. Yeah. It just makes sense here. And I can always castle long, not yet, because there's queen a8 checkmate. So I want to avoid that. That would be bad. But otherwise I'm pretty happy. Looking at takes and maybe queen h7 at the right time. Even h3. What about e5? It kind of closes things down just a little bit, but it also, I don't know, keeps things fresh. So that's a pawn, right? I can just take that. Don't tempt me. I will take a pawn. It's a pawn, and I like pawns. Yeah, let's take it. And I'll just go like queen e6 or something. Attack the knight. Well, I don't want to provoke it into moving. I still think this is the right choice, maybe? Maybe? Now I'm looking at a different way to develop with c6. c6 is like, the reason why I want to play c6 is because I'm expecting knight e3. They didn't play knight e3. Now that's shocking, actually. Because that makes me want to really try to punish them with this move. Taking on g3. And how do I continue? f5? Just trying to open things up. And then I take. Yeah, I don't want to play king f7 or anything like that, unless I absolutely have to. So I'm looking at f5. Takes. If they move their piece at all in any way, then I have queen h7 at the very least. I think it's justified. It's all about justification in your moves. And right now, I'm finding it difficult not to justify this. Because I can always castle long if I need to. So my king is actually safer than my opponent's. Just because theirs is defined and mine's not. So I can play f4 here. They might think they have queen g7, but I have rook to g8 as a reply. So this wins the piece. The queen, that is. And then they'll have to play like knight g2 or something. So they don't even get to play aggressively here. Oh, no, they actually have knight to g4, which is a little bit better. But it should still just be completely winning for me. I'm just going to castle long next move. Oh, was knight f5 saving there? Oh no, I just castle, I think. Yeah, let's just take here. With check. Oh, on rook? Or in the corner? Did I move my king ever? I don't think I moved. Oh no, 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 I played rook, I played rook b8, that's it. Okay, never mind. My rook was not always there, so I couldn't have castled. So I should have taken that into consideration when I was making my moves, because that could have actually hurt me out quite a bit. So, yeah. It's a good thing that that wasn't what happened, though. This is interesting. I think they just wanted to defend the pawn, though. I'm not interested in the pawn. I'm just interested in getting activity. That's normally what you want to do when you have extra materials, just get activity. So now it's time to blockade the pawn, and I might even just win it. I think that's an easy way to win now. Obviously material is good, but activity is always, I wouldn't say activity is always better than material, but if you have choice to like attack and maybe give up a pawn or something, sometimes it's, you kind of know what you should do, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to be tricky here. King e2, then I can just give a check, and then queen d2, and that should mate. Okay, let's go rook to g2. And I'll play b5 even. Okay, so they're trying to escape. Maybe c6 is better. b5. Oh, wow. They're really trying to defend. This should mate, though. King b3 I'm expecting. And then I just go here. Queen d2. Queen d2, queen c3. And then takes check, check. Check. Checkmate. Yeah. It's all with check except for like one move. So like, but yeah, they can't even make a good move though. So yeah. It should be a pretty straightforward win. Hopefully. I mean, watch me mess this up somehow. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be the first time. Oh yeah, queen a3. Okay. Good game. So we hit our goal, which is nice. And now we are just trying to get something else out of this. We're trying to get more than just 3 out of 4. So if we get a draw, if we get a win, whatever, doesn't matter. It's just extra. So right now we are +2. Is that it? Is that how math works? We have 3 wins, 1 loss, so 3 minus 1 plus 2. Yeah, I can do math. Look at me go. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. And now we just gotta wait for the next round. So final round coming up. Okay, and now, oh, wow, okay. Right when I started talking, the game started. Now I am playing against Igitian, I will say. Are there any undefended pawns that I should notice? This is undefended, actually. And I think I'm just going to play knight b6. Safe move. Is there anything I want to play here? I'll just play this, I think. Either h6 or h5. Let's go h5. It opens up our queen a little bit. I want to play bishop h7. I want to play knight f6 as well. Just solid. Solid chess. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Let's go here. Everything's defended still, except for the a pawn. I would be tricky and play bishop h7. Maybe I should just be tricky and play bishop h7. Because of knight g5 and that h6. But I also like g6. Let's play g6. Okay. Oh wait, no, I'm just trapping this bishop. What am I doing? Let's put e here. Looking at e5 maybe. This is still defended. I want to make sure that stays defended. I'm not playing too well so far. I'm noticing that I might have some issues, especially with this bishop. Normally what you want to do is you want to give yourself a structure that's going to be like solid, but also you want to make sure that you're giving activity to your pieces. And I seem to be doing neither, because now I have to play f6, I think, or f5. f5 should do the trick as well. Or if they take, then I take like this, and that's fine. Okay, let's play bishop e7. This is super scary. Let's move our queen to g8. I'm looking at bishop d5. If I get bishop d5, then I think I'm doing okay. And if they play c4, I might even just take, in all honesty. 30, no. I was looking for moves, but no, there's none. So yeah, so bishop c4, should I take? I think I should, because I actually just win this piece, yeah? Oh no, there's knight c2. I think it's still worth taking though. I'm not someone that likes to sacrifice. This is like the second time I'm sacrificing in this video, but this looks pretty okay. Yeah. You have to justify your sacrifices, and I think I have justified this one. With knight a5 coming. Or even e6. E6 looks pretty good. Just that this is the pretty much the entire idea, but it does open up the piece. I have 2 pawns for the piece as well, so that's not so bad. If here, I again just go here and I look at check. I can take the pawn at some point as well. I just don't see the points in taking the pawn right now. Okay, let's go bishop b7. And I'm hoping for king b1. I really am. Okay, that's even better, because now I can give a check. And I get my pieces in. If king back... Okay, so here, and then bishop a3. Or check, king d2, bishop, or queen here. And then I can just take. Check, and then I win this piece. And when I win this piece, everything falls. Like so fast. So yeah, this was completely justified practically. And it seems that my opponent had a lot of difficulties even dealing with it. So let's give a check. I'm just hoping for something like this where I can play here. Maybe 94. Or sorry, knight c3, I mean. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm looking at 94. And then takes, and then knight f5. I'm just trying to improve my piece. So, rook c2, I think, is the only serious move. I'll probably just play queen b4. That looks solid. And I'm threatening knight a2. So, should I just take on a2? Should I play here? Yeah, I think I should play here, actually. Because I want to open up this knight on h6, because this is one of the only pieces not doing anything. And this is exactly how I should do it. So if they play king h2 trying to take here, then I can win that little fella. I need to actually say the names of the pieces, because I'm not. I'm just saying like this and that and that. And I only do that when I'm like freaking out. And I'm freaking out right now, because I have no idea what's going on. Okay, knight e3 is a threat. Okay. Queen c3. To further put more emphasis. I don't know words. Just to put more emphasis on the threat. Because now I'm threatening queen e2. Queen f3 looks like it's gonna win. Maybe h4 first. Or just e3. Yeah, e3 looks. I was looking at queen f3 and then e3 or something like this, or like just something, but this looks pretty solid. And I'm just winning a piece, so if they could play rook c1 or anything, I can take that. Yeah, I should probably just take on f2. Is there anything better? There's also check here. And then takes. I'm just trying to cause as much damage as possible. Yeah, let's give a check. Now they have to move their king. Then I can take. I could also play knight d4. No, I can't play knight d4. That's covered. Silly Braden. Let's play here. The attack does not stop, which is nice. Now knight g3 is a threat. Yeah, knight g3. And still there's no attack on that square. Ooh, this is nice. How do I keep an attack on both pieces? I like this move quite a bit. Because it keeps an eye on everything. And if king takes, then queen h1. Followed by queen h3. Yeah, let's go queen e4. So they can't take with the queen anymore. They have to take with the king. And then I have check, and then I can take here. Yep, good. King e2. Let's just take this pawn. It's a valuable pawn, I think. It's worth taking. Queen g3, maybe. Like I'm up a rook, I believe now. Have I moved this rook? I don't think I have. No, I have not. Or I'm being silly and I have. I don't know which is worse. Well, both are fine. It's time to play c6. Time to play things like bishop e7. It's time to just win. So, yeah. Let's play here. And then maybe h3 or something. I was looking at rook f5, which is the obvious move, but I think this one does convert a little bit better. And the reason why is because like king c7, and then I bring this rook to the f-file. And if they ever do anything to play for tricks, then I just go here. So, yep. King c7. And I'm planning to go rook f8 if they let me. Good. I'm expecting knight f6. Okay, so they don't play knight f6, which does let me, let's play d6. Let's start with d6. I just need to break down this structure too. Because they're eventually, I think, just going to trade. And the second I can trade like everything, then it makes it just a tiny bit easier, so. I just want to make things easy. I could also play h3, and I'm definitely going to look at h3 further, just because then I can play like rook h7 and then check, get in like that, and attack the pawn. Let's play h3. Because now this idea is a lot more prevalent. Where I want to play rook h5 and then rook this rook over. Yeah, I think it's time to start looking at this a bit more seriously. If they play d5, I take with the c pawn, so there's no f5 issues. But yeah, this is all I want to do. I just want to go check. Okay, now make your decision if you're going to go into f6. I'm assuming they will. Okay, they don't. Now it's going to be a lot more difficult to get in that way for them. So how do I continue here? They're making it difficult. I might just play b6 and c5. Yeah, b6. Let's go for c5 now. Let's play on this side of the board. Because it takes what appears to be a lot less thought to do so. Yep. Okay. I'm pretty confident with my results here. So I don't want to take. I just want to leave the tension. What if I just switch it up? Go here. Now they have to decide if they want to take it or not. And now I can take on f4. So this does open things up as well. Just swing it over. And the f4 falls. So if they play rook f2 or something, I play h2. And they have to take it. And then I can take on f4. Or they take with the king. And then I just take here. Actually, more accurate, I think, might be just rook h8. Which forces the trade. And g5 falls too. So, okay. Solid. Yes. That should be the game. Yeah, so I think most accurate is playing with, like, moving the rook to the h-file, trading rooks, at least one of the rooks, taking on f4. Where g5 falls as well. Yeah. I might just play rook takes d4 as well. Like, moves like that are just completely winning, so it doesn't really matter too much. As long as I just don't blunder, that's all. So knight a3, I have rook to c3. And then knight e1, I have bishop to h4. And if knight to a1, then I just play rook c3 and the piece is trapped. So yeah, and then I just go bishop c1. Okay, yeah, so bishop h4, and I win the piece. And now it's just completely over. Okay, so we ended up winning our last game, which is really nice. We got an extra 65 rating from that, which is also pretty cool. And where did we end up? We still have to wait for 3 more games to see what our final, I guess, score is going to be. But we did not get in the top 3, so I'm sad. But, you know, that's not pretty bad. It's not pretty bad. No, that's not bad. Getting 4 out of 5 in a 10-0 5-game tournament. When there's 52 players, there's going to be a lot of people that either get a perfect score or close to perfect, just because of the distribution of not only ratings but also points. There's going to be people at the top and bottom unless everybody draws every game, which is just not going to happen. But okay, anyways, I'm pretty happy with this. So if you got this far, then type in, I want to learn the Najdorf. I don't know, something like that. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.